This is Formidable Speaker Asmo. Pretty weird build overall. My first version was really in on Feasting Troll King and Detectives Phoenix, just being like a little bit more of an aggressive deck, and I ended up finding I didn't like that build as much. Um, so instead, we're still playing one Phoenix and Troll King as tutor targets for Formidable Speaker. I guess I'll just talk about this. Very cool in Asmo. Your ability to discard a lot of cards for value, your Ovalchase Daredevils, your Feasting Troll King Phoenixes, makes the discard downside not that big. And you also have the ability to just, at the bare minimum, Speaker, grab Asmo, play Asmo as like a pretty good 3/4 mana play. Being a Mox Opal deck lets you play this a little bit earlier too, which is something I like about Speaker in this archetype. Then Speaker does a lot of extra cool stuff where it lets you set up for multiple copies of Academy Manufactor. When you have multiple copies of Academy Manufactor, things get really crazy. You can also untap Underworld Cookbook with Formidable Speaker, and to get extra triggers on your Steelseekers and your Manufactor, all that stuff. Um, I've been loving Steelseeker again. This is one of our favorite cards. I've had a lot of history with Steelseeker in this archetype. It's good to be back in the more green build Asmo shell with Steelseeker. Our win condition, if we're popping off with the Academy Manufactors, may not be super obvious. Maybe it is, but the win con is Kappa Cannoneer plus Detectives Phoenix. And then when you're popping off with Manufactors, your Kappa Cannoneer gets really large, really quickly. And then you can also find your Phoenix, and it's not too uncommon when you have multiple Manufactors. And Steelseeker, you can effectively churn through the majority of your deck, and that's sort of the late game you're playing to while you are building up a snowbally value engine. Since you're splashing for Kappa Cannoneer, the splash for Consign ends up being pretty good. We also have some extra Formidable Speaker tutor targets, Magus to the Moon, Endurance, I guess technically Haywire Mite, and Soulless Jailer, for the various matchup that those cards are good against. All right, snapping this off. Put us on a multi-6. The Nature's Rhythms, I should say, have also been really good. Harmonizing has been pretty real. Even just like 4 mana Harmonize for Asmo has been pretty cool. I guess I'll play out the Opal to be a bit better against a Thoughtseize. Not going to discard the Phoenix end of turn here, probably. We draw an Urza Saga. So I guess now we'll go discard Phoenix. This is to turn on the Opal so that we can go Nature's Rhythm for an Asmo, put Asmo into play, grab a cookbook, cast a cookbook off the Urza Saga. Wrap with the 28 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Hope you're doing well today. Did I see the Monument Shadow Moon standard deck? I did not. No, I don't watch any of the Pro Tour. Sounds like my kind of thing, though. Yeah, we've played Kappa Cannoneer food a few times. It's often felt like it's close to being good, and usually a little bit worse than your other Kappa Cannoneer decks. But just the one of Speaker target's been feeling pretty good. So let's go ahead and discard a Misty end of turn here. And then I think I just attack first. Oh. Not sure how much that changes things, actually. I think we're still going to attack first. I may still want to make a construct instead of playing the Manufactor. Don't kill frog. Are you just animal activist or what? In case you're scared of them persisting the frog? Yeah. I would love if they did that. You think of persisting Archon? I mean, we can't really stop them from doing that anyways. We can still kill the Archon. I think now we'll play this. Been a long time since we had an Academy Manufactor in play, huh? Whenever you would make a clue, food, or treasure, you make one of each instead. You can do both with treasures, right? Do both with treasures. Make a Saga token? No. That's what you're saying. I don't think persist would be that bad for us here. It would be bad, but not like an unlosable situation or unwinnable situation. Sorry. So I've got 3 green for the Nature's Rhythm at the moment. They unearthed a frog. Let's see what we draw here. I think I'm just gonna make sure I get this extra cookbook activation off here and pass back. We don't have enough mana value in the yard to Phoenix the construct, but if we did, it would be a lethal attacker. It'd be pretty cool. Two clue tokens, 3 foods, 1 treasure, 3 cook or 2 yeah sure 2 or 3 cookbooks. It's kind of weird because they're like grouped separately here. How many R's are in strawberry? They fly the frog. Try brewing up Enigma Jewel with Lockmare. That can have cracked draws. Feels a bit dirtily. Opted for Tempo Direction. Tempo. Yeah, I'm excited to play Lockmare too. I think it'll be just more of an Aether Vial build when we get around to it. There's still like so much to do with Lorwyn. It's a very deep set, and I'm taking my time here because I don't think turtles will be that exciting. They discard an Oculus. Thanks, Warren. I love Modern too. None of my friends play anymore, except for you, who are all my friends, of course. Second main phase Emperor. Maybe they drew that off the frog. We have a 12/12 construct. If we can fly the construct this turn with the Phoenix, then we force the Oculus to block. The Street Wraith now gives me enough evidence to collect. So definitely want to be sacking a clue token before we do anything else, because maybe we'll be able to discard an Ovalchase Daredevil and play this as a land. Which I failed to do. So we discard, and then we still have another look at Ovalchase, although we can also just discard these 2 cards here. Maybe I want to play one as a land. Yeah, I guess there's not a big difference between this being 16/16 or just a little bit bigger than this. We do have to lose the Nature's Rhythm this way. So they're going to chump block with the Oculus. They're going to have 2 cards in their hand after they draw. In pretty comfortable shape. Not an unlosable game by any means. How many lands are even left? Can't be that many. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the... I think we're playing 20? 20 and 4 Mox Opals. Could we have just have Nature's Rhythm to Asmo and killed more things? We could have, yeah. Maybe that was better. Probably was better, yeah. I was thinking you could Surveil for a Daredevil. I think it's better to get the untapped mana. So we'd have to lose a treasure if we don't hit exactly a Daredevil on the Surveil. They fly the frog. Why not Asmo kill all blockers? I mean, maybe that was better. I mean, the flying construct's also really good. And then, we would have had to commit to that instead of drawing like 3 cards like we did. Nordu becoming a mod. Let's go. Clue tokens do not trigger Moonshadow. Yeah, no more VIP slots. We're like at least 1,000 subs, maybe more away from more VIP slots. Am I dead if they Emperor the Oculus? I don't think so. Not really that close, no. They do Emperor the Oculus. Maybe they can do it in their own instep so they get the manifest. Finally, there was a muting, and I wasn't saying the most important thing of the stream. So we're up a game against Grixis Unearth. Guess we're gonna play the Endurance and the Lantern. Don't think we need much else. Don't think the Troll King probably. It just seems like it blocks pretty poorly since they've got so many flyers. So I don't think we're gonna want that so badly. We could maybe cut the Took. Took is a bit of a grindy card, and this is a bit of a grindy matchup. Could maybe cut an Opal. Could cut a Speaker also. I think cutting a Speaker is okay sometimes. I'm gonna cut a Took because we're testing this a bit more. We want to see a bit more of it, but maybe that's the thing. Maybe I probably could play Needle also, but Jailer. Jailer's kind of like it's our worst form of graveyard hate, and it also doesn't stop Emperor like the other graveyard hate does. Okay, I guess we'll put back the Kappa. They also multi 6. Four color Asmo's crazy. I mean, this is. I know it looks like a four. Is this Gruul with we're splashing a Kappa Cannoneer and then Consign? Jailer is good against Living End and Storm. Don't think they play Bowmaster. It's a good card to pick up. Might be playing Formidable Speaker next turn instead of Cookbook. We'll see. Although holding this as a green card for Endurance could also be important. This might get countered. It does get countered. Gets Spell Pierced. Yeah, I mean, this next turn is going to be pretty critical. There's a good... Maybe what I want to do next turn is... Maybe... I mean, it seems like now they're just going to crack a fetch and hardcast Oculus. But I was thinking... I was thinking I could hardcast Endurance next turn to stop an Oculus. Although they don't have one. Which is interesting. So let's play Saga, and then I think I am going to hardcast the Endurance. And then if they want to kill the Endurance by discarding 3 of their 4 cards, I think that'll be okay also. And then we can play a Speaker next turn and get an Asmo, and then Asmo activation the following turn because we get Cookbook off Saga and the Cookbook from the Asmo. And then we get to stop hardcast. Oh, sorry, we should have probably upkeeped because of Oculus main phase, although I don't know how often they do that. Well, they discard... Okay, well, let's... Never interrupt your opponent while they're making a mistake. My friend Tony told me that. So they have to discard 2 of their 3 cards to get through this Endurance. They discarded an Unearth. Yeah, we've been doing well Primal Prayers too. Pretty excited about it. They discard just an Unearth and they decide that they like both of their last 2 cards more than they like the idea of killing the Endurance. Speaker untapping Cookbook also going to be pretty relevant this game, I think. Pretty cool. Maybe they have a Fatal Push for the Asmo. We also just have a lot of power and toughness now for like a double block on the Frog. They do Fatal Push the Asmo. So they've got 1 card left in their hand and a 3/4 Frog with 2 cards in the graveyard. We also have a Nature's Rhythm in the graveyard, which can be really good this game. We could even get an Academy Manufactor next turn. Rhythm is so good in this deck. I will double block if they attack. Although they could fly the Frog by discarding a card first. So I think that's what they're going to settle on here. So attack, hold priority, discard one of their 2 cards. It's a persist. Then fly. Seems like I probably don't block. Maybe it's close. Let's block. They're stumbling. If this just means they don't do anything the rest of the turn, that's great. They might have a spell pierce though. Ooh, I drew a Steelseeker. Oh my gosh, I didn't float mana. Oh, sorry about that. I think that's okay. I think we'll just go Steelseeker here and just save the rhythm for next turn. Yeah, no rhythm grabs Asmo. Oh, we're responding to someone else. Yeah. Yeah, rhythm grabs Asmo for 2 mana. All right, I'm going to graveyard another Steelseeker. If y'all haven't seen this card in action before, it's usually a pretty big treat. Being able to graveyard Nature's Rhythms can also be pretty nice. Maybe I want to keep this. Yeah, I'll just keep that for next turn. So I'm not going to be digging too deep for like... I was trying to find another Urza Saga to play. Instead, we'll just play Commercial District, Surveillance to the top. We can get blue mana for that... off the Wooded Foothills potentially. Guess we'll just do this now also. And need to think a little bit about if am I going to chump block the frog with Speaker next turn? Oh, no. Yeah, I guess next turn what we'll probably end up doing is Nature's Rhythming for Asmo from the graveyard. Unless I feel like I can just win the game. Or get close to winning the game by Nature's Rhythming for Academy Manufactor instead. I don't think I'll be able to win the game. I'll be able to do a lot. I mean, the Speaker on tap is really good. I think this is probably just a fine conservative block here. And then so yeah, so I think what I think we're gonna do is untap, draw the Kappa Cannoneer, and then just flashback the Nature's Rhythm. Okay, that doesn't change my play. Just flashback the Nature's Rhythm. And then if this gets spell pierced, then we'll play the Kappa Cannoneer. So we get a third cookbook. All right. Oh, I can't play the Kappa Cannoneer this turn because I'm only gonna have 4 artifacts untapped. So wait a turn. That's okay. Don't know what their last card is. Probably not all that relevant. Is that the Zoo Reanimator deck? We've talked a lot about it. I would like to play Aurora Awakener at some point on my to-do list. Can you not sack the food after tapping them for Cannoneer? Well, yeah, the problem is I'm only gonna have 4 artifacts to tap the Kappa Cannoneer because if I tap the cookbook to make a food, I only have a total of 4 no matter what. So after I've Nature's Rhythm for Asmo, I no longer have a window to Kappa. Have I gone up or down on Speaker after playing with it? I think it's about as good as I thought it would be. I think it's very good at Nature's Rhythm, and it wasn't as good in Badger Mole as I had hoped, and it's been a good tool in this deck, and it seems to have a lot of different things it's doing, and like Cauldron decks, which we haven't played any of the Cauldron decks yet. We have played against a bunch of Devoted Druid teams, not that great, but cool. Which is, I don't know, all of this is pretty in line with where I thought it would be. All right, keeping the 7 on the play, of course. Hopefully, you can play turn 2 Manufactor. Be nice to draw an Asmo. I haven't seen Goryo's in a while. Think Speaker being able to discard Payoff, get Enabler is big for the deck. I don't think it's big for the deck, but I think it might be interesting. I do want to play Speaker Reanimator at some point. Just still a lot to get to. Have you ever played a list with 6 Steelseeker Bauble? You can check the box field. I don't think we have, though. If we did, it would have been a breach build, probably. So gonna play the Mox Opal to be a bit better against Thoughtseize. I guess like Spell Pierce too. Technically, I guess it could be better to hold if we drew a land. We could trigger the Steelseeker, but if I draw a land, I'm gonna play a Manufactor anyways. I'm trying to make Formidable Speaker work in Blood Marauder, Woodlands Omniscience. Oh yeah, we did have the Meek Attack Woodlands Omniscience deck, which I do want to play another League of today if we have time. Although I might play a second League of this if this goes really well. We'll see. Oh, they've played a Desert. Don't know what to make of that. Do you remember when Rights was the modern reanimate card? Well, I mean, I remember it being like a one of Gibson Given would play, which I don't exactly think is the same thing. So we have 5 mana next turn, counting the Saga token. Very is this just Titan with a Desert to loop to win? Okay. So nothing cool. We could Speaker for second Manufactor and play it, but then we're not doing anything else. I think I'm just going to play this. Not that I have auto yields, just make sure I don't have any. So say no to this, and then in response to the rest of the triggers, we'll go and draw the Asmo here. Put Urza Saga into our hand. Put Forest into our hand. Cast Asmo, get Cookbook. A Boreal Grazer sweating. Best card we could hit here is Boseiju. We could also channel the Boseiju here. Draw a card. Draw a card. So those just lands, right? Mox Opal's not the worst. So next turn we get to go Formidable Speaker. Second Manufactor before we tap a Cookbook. I think I don't want this, but it's kind of close. So hopefully my Asmo can be good against the Glass Cannon 6/6 deck. That Mox, draw Mox draw Mox that's more looks well, I can't draw Mox this turn. I only have 1 treasure token. Thoughts on the Garland Harden swap? I don't know Garland very well. Apparently people say it's a relatively even trade, but I don't know enough about Garland's game. Yeah, Steelseeker feeds the Cookbook really well. So I draw a Nature's Rhythm, so this can be a 5 mana Manufactor as opposed to the Steelseeker, which is 6. I also can maybe also harmonize this turn for a third one. So let's go ahead and just get the second Manufactor in play. Still have my land to play for turn. Yeah, as a relatively new NBA fan, it's pretty exhausting, all the trade stuff. How much of it's just like fake lies for clicks too is just so exhausting. I agree. So a bit better to discard the not discard the Daredevil to avoid triggers at this point in the game, by the way. All right, so we'll yield to all here. I guess actually I don't want to yield to all because I might want to draw in response. So say no to a Steelseeker. I have 3 treasures. I'm gonna have 3 more after the other tap, and I still have my land to play for turn. Graveyard this. So I guess what we're going to end up doing is we're going to flashback the Nature's Rhythm, and then before we tap the other Cookbook, thinning the deck pretty hard while we do this. Definitely graveyarding another Nature's Rhythm can be good. I do want this. Although I think I need to leave this in the deck instead of. And I don't know that I can afford to draw it right now. All right, so say no to this, and then play Basic Forest, and then Flashback Harmonize. Tap Asmo, and then 4 mana to get a third Manufactor, which will make the top of my clue token give me 9. 9 treasure, 9 food, 9 clues. Yeah, this is if we were to draw this, it would be -1 mana to draw and play that, since it's 2 mana to sack a treasure, of course. Again, you don't want to discard your Daredevils here. It's way too many triggers. Sometimes we'll even crash Magic online. Okay, so we have nine mana to play with, and all the triggers in the world. The win from here is going to be tapping a cookbook with Cannoneer in play, and giving it haste with a Detective's Phoenix. So that's what we're digging for. We should be able to find it. We also need to find the other cookbook, of course. This can be a 1 mana cookbook. We have so many triggers. I think we can just kind of draw into whatever we need here. Thought about maybe playing a second Feasting Troll King, or second Phoenix for the Feasting Troll King. Looks like an easy and fun deck to play in paper. I think it might be easier in paper. I have played it in paper before, although not this exact build. Okay, so say no to that, and then let's go ahead and sack 2 treasures to sack a clue, draw our last cookbook. At this point, just play Thassa's Oracle Twin. You know, everyone says this. You're lazy. Literally, why would you... Kappa Cannoneer does the job. Kappa Cannoneer is way better to draw. Why play Thassa's Oracle? So here's the Kappa Cannoneer. Okay, so not going to put this in the graveyard. Maybe Crushing Magic Online. So we have 5 mana left, plus the mana from the cookbooks, of course. So we're still looking for the Detective's Phoenix and maybe the 4th... Oh, sorry. I forgot we had one more cookbook in the deck. That makes things a lot easier. So say no to this. Gonna graveyard this since it'll probably crash Magic Online. Just need to find the Detective's Phoenix, which I think we can do deterministically. With our other triggers here. Seven cards left in the deck, 6 cards left in the deck, 5 cards left in the deck, 4 cards left in the deck, 3. So it's not quite there. That's okay. It doesn't need to be there right now. I cast Kappa Cannoneer. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Oracle is, it's, you know, or the only reason to play Oracle is if you're lazy, which is fine. You know, you can be lazy. It's your game time, right? For me, I'm gonna play the optimal card, which is gonna be Kappa Cannoneer. Now we would need to put the 4th Manufactor into play if we didn't have the 4th cookbook available. But we don't have the 4th cookbook still untapped, thankfully. Also, sometimes Formidable Speaker lets you untap a cookbook in these spots. So my last card is the Phoenix. Should we kill Steelseeker after we Phoenix value trigger battle? Maybe sometimes. Although you could just say no to all the triggers. Oh, sorry. We should have. You just wanted to say no to the triggers now, right? Yeah. Our last card is Phoenix. Or is this just enough triggers by itself? This might be enough. Maybe we didn't even need the 4th cookbook tap. Not that we have tapped it yet. I guess we actually lose the game if my opponent Boseiju's my Phoenix, huh? Well, I suppose what we can do is we can Boseiju their Gruul Turf, and then if they Boseiju my Phoenix, then they have to do it in this phase, and I'll be able to re-bestow. Okay, so yield to all. Shout out to that button. Graveyard Detective's Phoenix as the last card. Now there are no cards left in my deck. I missed how this happened. I don't know, man. I'm freaking out. I don't know, man. Yield to all. I guess yielding to all with the Steelseeker in play is a bit easier when there's no cards in your deck. A little tip for those learning at home. Yeah, the plan is to haste Kappa Cannoneer. All right, so let's go ahead and play around their own Boseiju, which, you know, I feel like they would have used already, but maybe not. We're going to play around their Boseiju by Boseijuing the Gruul Turf, and if they float mana to Boseiju by Phoenix, I can Boseiju their my Kappa Cannoneer is a 33/33, so we're not going to bother with the other cookbook, but we can re-bestow the Phoenix if they floated mana here. So it should be good. Though I don't know if my opponent is still here at the moment. We could make this much bigger, but I've clicked through enough. Yeah, I was really excited to find, or just figure out the Kappa Cannoneer is, I think, the optimal win con with like the Formidable Speakers, because it's also just a good card to cast. And I think you want to play a Phoenix anyways. So we're up a game against Titan. I'm going to bring in the Damping Spheres. I'm going to bring in the Magus of the Moon. I'm going to bring in the Endurance. Probably bring in the Haywire Mite. Could bring in Needle for Boseiju. Can be really good here. Lantern can be good. Vexing Bauble can be good. All of these are options. The problem is this 8 cards is almost definitely too many to bring in. I'm sorry, ZK. I don't have a sec. Sorry. I'm gonna cut the Feasting Troll King again. I might cut the Street Wraiths to make some room. So 3 more cards. So the cards I brought in: Magus, Endurance, Haywire Mite, Vexing Bauble, Lantern, and then 2 Damping Spheres. Do I really feel like I need all of these? Maybe just Endurance, although I don't like that if I Formidable Speaker for Endurance, it's really telegraphed. Exiling instead of shuffling can also be really good too. I'm gonna probably trim an Opal and a Daredevil. And I think Endurance is really good against them. Maybe I'll trim Asmo number 4. It's a little bit weird. I cut the Street Wraiths though, so you don't want it in your hand as often. And also Asmo killing their Titans isn't all that good. I think that's probably fine. Sure. Maybe sure. Good enough, I think. They kept 7, we're keeping 7. From the Rakdos Moonshadow Life, would you do surgical on the board? Is it often too little, too late? I mean, too little, too late. Certainly. Wait, maybe they are playing something weird. Too little, too late is like, I think, not the words I would use to describe surgical extraction. It's like really fast, so too late is never what you would say, right? But I think like it's not that complicated. Surgical is a card that's really good when Goryo's is really popular, and sometimes it has some extra utility. But for the most part, it's a card that's good when Goryo's is popular, right? I don't think it needs to be all that complicated. No, Kappa Cannoneer has unblockable biscuits. We could play Asmo or can play the Steelseeker. I think I just wanted to start Steelseeking. Maybe I should get Basic Forest for the Magus, but also blue mana for Kappa Cannoneer. Bibbo with the 7 months. Hope you're doing well. Probably will upkeep tap the cookbook to kind of surveil for my draw step. Do you ever stream bad ideas are fun to play? Occasionally, yeah. I usually try to telegraph that that's what's happening when it does happen. But yeah, that has happened. I have been like, I don't think this idea is very good, but I just really want to do it. Yeah, we did haste the Kappa with the Phoenix and attacked for 33 or something like that. Hey, they're splunking in an Arbor. I'm a little bit confused what the build is over there. Am I going to Boseiju the Spelunking? Feels always like a big spew to have to do that. Definitely just going to keep this now. So say no to putting that in the graveyard, and then yes to the Ovalchase Daredevil. And then we will cast the Asmo, kill the Dryad Arbor, attack for 1, and play Damping Sphere. Yeah, Punishing Fire is still banned. I'm sure someone would have told me if it was unbanned. Love Steelseeker. Yeah, Snowball's just referring to the game plan here. Snowball deck. Have I done Steelseeker with Seismic Assault? I've not. Sounds fun. A little bit tough to cast Seismic Assault in your Saga deck sometimes. They have the Sweeper. They have to tap the Grove if it's Fire Blast? No, that's not it. The green-red Sweeper. I never learned the card, I guess, because I'm just always so frustrated when it gets cast. All right, they pass the turn. Let's go ahead and upkeep Steelseeker. Keep a cookbook. So attacking for 4, this would put them to 15. Yeah, Fire Spout thing. I just I've ever remembered the name of Fire Spout, I guess. $20 lands in the deck. I do want to hold up the Boseiju. I guess I'll just shotgun the Steam Vents. Maybe that's worse because I could hit Urza. If I hit Urza Saga off this, I'm not going to play it because I'm holding up Boseiju. I'm going to graveyard that. I'm going to wait on the last tap because I'm not sure what I want. They do nothing. Might be hard to escape the Phoenix because I cut all the Wraiths. I've seen all your red-green decks. I think red-green's really powerful. Do you think a red-green mid-range could exist or be worse than Eldrazi ramp? I mean, it could. It's a little bit vague what red-green mid-range is. This is a red-green mid-range deck, one thing about a lot of the red-green decks we used to play was that they were kind of good, like, mid-range / Underworld Breach combo decks, and now Breach is banned. Yeah, I've never been a big Maria fan. Could maybe be interesting as a tutor target here to, like, go up on mana, though. Okay, my opponent is crazy. I don't know what's going on here. Yeah, that's true. We can escape with the Daredevils. I don't know. I mean, I guess they do just sometimes play Springheart Nantuko they just sometimes play Nantuko to combo with a Boreal Grazer. Cannot control the urge to ask about unbanning Shaman and Punishing Fire. You know what? I'll do it. They're unbanned! I unbanned them. You're welcome. I unbanned them right now. They're getting a little tripped up by the Damping Sphere, it seems. Anybody else want any cards unbanned? I'd be happy to unban them. I would love a Death Red Shaman unban. I think it'd be really good for the format. But again, Wizards has taken a really passive approach to their ban list management for like almost a full year now, and instead of longing for unbans, I'm just trying to enjoy the format, Like Kentaro Miura once said, instead of trying to painstakingly piece together what you once lost, it's better to enjoy the life you have or build something new. I don't actually remember the quote. So we get Formidable Speaker for Kappa Cannoneer, or we could Formidable Speaker for Magus. I think this is gonna be worth keeping. So if I get Kappa Cannoneer, I'm not really gonna be able to haste. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can cast it for 1 mana, but then I'm not gonna have. I have to tap the cookbooks first. I guess if I have to tap the cookbooks first anyways, then why don't we tap a Daredevil? Amtraptor, Boros needs some help. Unbanned. Yorion, unbanned. Right. Which is worse, NBA Treadline videos that will shake the entire league, BNR Modern. The NBA trade videos are literally the worst content I've ever seen. You know? And I've watched some of my own videos. It's literally it's unwatchable. It's unbelievable that NBA fans tolerate it. I think it's just all like even like the news organizations are like this, but every NBA trade video is just a lie, like a blatant lie for your click. There's nothing else that's happening other than they are lying for your click. It's crazy to me. So I may not return the Daredevil if I feel like I can haste the Cannoneer. Although maybe even holding up the Boseiju is going to be better. All right, yeah, so let's just keep that, and then we can win next turn with the Cannoneer without hasting. Thankfully, Damping Sphere doesn't have the Trinisphere if it's tapped clause. All right, so we got Boseiju up, Damping Sphere in play, lethal next turn, and 2 Asmo activations available. The NBA fans don't tolerate, they demand it, they love getting outraged or hyped for whatever with no real consequences. Weird. Okay, I just don't understand it because people will just if you don't know, they'll phrase their articles and their YouTube videos like a trade happened. And it did not happen. It's just them daydreaming and fantasizing about it. Combust! Dude, no way we got combusted here, man. It's just all of it's just a daydream about what they want to happen, right? And then and it's always and the rumors and the players who all the rumors and buzzes about, they almost never get traded, it seems. It's just all a lie. It's crazy to me. Combust is pretty cool. Okay, so we're drawing Academy Manufactor with 3 cookbooks in play. I have 11 minutes on the clock. So no Troll King in the deck anymore. Kappa Cannoneer dead. We pivot into a more value-focused plan. Potentially trying to find like a Magus of the Moon or something. Yeah, I can Nature's Rhythm for Magus now. Isn't Fry strictly better than Combust? I believe so, yeah. Can't we cookbook the Kappa? I guess we could, yeah. Seems like in this spot, I'd rather Nature's Rhythm for Magus, though. Couldn't you grow the Kappa by untapping Cookbook? Oh, did I... Was the Formidable Speaker... It was not... It was Summoning Sick. Yeah, we just speakered for the Cannoneer. Do I have another fetchable green source? I actually don't think I have another untapped fetchable green. So we could draw that and cast that, I guess, but I think we're just gonna Nature's Rhythm here. Let's not be lazy. This is what we came here to do. I guess I actually should have just graveyarded here. Yeah, Fry kills Ashiok too, that's true. Again, their build is just kind of all over the place. For whatever that's worth. Always yes works with Ovalchase? What? Free at last, free at last. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Daybreak Games! I won't complain about slow players for 30 minutes. Wait, why can't I tap more than... So... Oh, it is just one, isn't it? Tap one, yeah, sorry. I always think you can tap more than one creature here. So I think this means I have to tap out of the Boseiju. Because I have the Damping Sphere increasing this cost by 1. Guess I could have surveilled first. Didn't get enough surveils this game. But yeah, maybe we can just kill them with... Yeah, I think we can cookbook back the Kappa and kill them next turn. They play a Lotus Field, untapped. They think. They have a good think here. Maybe a Green Sun Zenith. They have a Spelunking. Yeah, I thought about playing Knight of Sweet's Revenge. You know, it is a card we've played in this archetype in the past, and it's been fine in the past. Might be good. All right, so we're gonna return the Kappa Cannoneer. I'm just gonna not bother with the Ovalchase Daredevil triggers at this point. How often does Kappa Cannoneer kill them? We have a haste enabler. Yes, we have Detective's Phoenix. In game 1, we went through our entire deck and hasted a 30 power Kappa Cannoneer that could have been much bigger. Oh, I should have left red mana up. I could play a Lando. I'm just gonna kill my Steelseeker. For your sake, chat. So we're gonna play around Fry number 2. It's actually crazy they had Fry in their deck. Like, I guess so they saw the Kappa Cannoneer game 1. Okay, so we're gonna respond to Fry by tapping our cookbook. And if they have another Fry, they can't cast it because of Damping Sphere, but if they could, we could untap our cookbook with Formidable Speaker, and they can see the match. So we're 2-0. We're 2-0, 4-0. Deck looking really cool so far. I think that this is a keep. I used to keep this hand. I used to keep exactly this hand. Let's see if it's still a keep, I guess. Funny enough, this hand does lead on Urza Saga, I think. Maybe that's too ambitious, but I used to keep this hand and I used to lead on Urza Saga with it. So on the play against Boros. Okay, happy to have led on the Saga now. Make sure we get our trigger. Ever tried to do a paradoxical outcome retract weapons manufacturing deck? We talked a lot about it, of course, when Edge of Eternities came out, but it mostly seemed like a lot worse than being in on explosives and Claws of Gix. And I think that's also just like what most people figured too, but I did never end up trying it, so could be something there. Ah, 2/1 drops. You're playing a ton of 0 drops. Outcome draws a ton of cards. Well, this is all. I know everyone's so thirsty to draw a ton of cards all the time. But here's the thing: if you have a ton of 0 mana permanents, a ton of artifacts in play, you also are winning the game with Kappa Cannoneer. You're winning the game with engineered explosives, just kills them. And instead of drawing a lot of cards. And I know everyone's thirsty to draw a lot of cards, but paradoxical outcome compared to Kappa Cannoneer or explosives or claws, these are outcome's only a card that's good when you're ahead, when you're doing your thing, when your engine's online. But Kappa Cannoneer and Explosives and Claws are good when you have less resources, when your opponent's interacting with you, and they also let you kill just about as fast, which is why the decks play those instead. All right, so let's see what we draw. We still have a couple clue tokens, a couple treasures. We draw an Urza Saga. I guess we'll play that and tap that to clue. Would love to find an Asmo. We find a Formidable Speaker, but we're going to be 1 mana short of playing Formidable Speaker and casting Asmo. I guess we're still going to cast it. Maybe actually grab... I'm actually going to grab Ovalchase Daredevil here. A bit weird, but we're going to need the extra clue food to clean up. Might as well play around Thraben Charm. It's not like I'm concealing info. Although I guess one problem is I got basic forest so that I got the forest so I would be able to just use the treasure tokens from the manufactor. Then I used my treasure tokens and my manufactor died, and I don't actually have the mana to cast Asmo, but I could draw Nature's Rhythm maybe. Yeah, it's gonna take me a while to remember I can always yes on Daredevil after years of not being able to. Is Formidable Speaker tutoring Winota interesting? No, they apparently they changed it where it does work now, which is so cool. Yeah, so we can find an Asmo this turn, or Nature's Rhythm for Asmo is actually maybe the only out. I guess we have the clue token. We're probably in fine shape, and if not, we're probably gonna lose. So I'm down to 7 life points. They do get to make a lot of extra tokens here. Maybe that'll just be enough. I don't like how telegraphed, like when you tutor up Winota with Speaker is. Just says, hey, I'm gonna do this next turn. That's not a Asmo. All right, game 2. Yeah, there may be a Meek attack Winota deck. Doesn't sound all that good though. I guess I need Needle for bombardment. Lantern for Flage. Thinking, do I want to leave in the Kappa Cannoneer at all? Probably do. Probably just still kind of good. I think I'm going to go down 3 Wraiths and a Took. Well, let's keep our 7 on the play. It's a pretty interesting hand. I'm going to go Boseiju, Cookbook, discard Cookbook, cast Asmo, get another Cookbook. And if this dies, we have a Nature's Rhythm for Asmo number 2 to get the 4th Cookbook out of the deck. Now what? I guess just discard this main phase, play another Cookbook. We want to be able to kill Asmo in response to a Galvanic Discharge, or Ragavan in response to a Galvanic Discharge. Maybe discarding not Speaker so I could get Ovalchase Daredevil was better also. We're chilling here, I guess. Opponents. Marsh Flats in the yard. So they can escape the Flage with just a fetch land next turn. A little bit of an issue. Let's see what we draw. I think what I want to do is Nature's Rhythm for Steelseeker. So maybe a little anemic, but it's a really it's Steelseeker keeps your cookbooks really fed, and then Manufactor when you don't have food for your cookbook can be kind of weak. And we also have the ability to just flash back the Nature's Rhythm for another Asmo potentially. Yeah, but they do have the fetch land for the Flage. Need a Daredevil so badly. Do I just play Manufactor, let it die to the Flage? I don't really have much else going on. Um, see what we draw off the clue token. Another cookbook. What's my opinion on current modern? I think things are good at the moment. I think that they can be a lot better. I felt this way for a long time. That with a more aggressive ban list philosophy, I think the healing process from MH3 could have gone a lot faster. Wizard seems really uninterested in doing that, so I'm just trying to enjoy what is a pretty good format. Maybe the best constructed format at the moment. Maybe Standard's better at the moment. Oh, we just drew the fourth cookbook and we're about to tutor it. I just realized. Ah, Pro Tour's made Standard a lot more fun. That's good, yeah. But overall, Modern's good. You can't complain too much. I guess this was the worst draw in the deck by a lot. So we do have 2 food tokens to kill this Flage. They have 5 cards in their hands. A lot of cards to have in a hand. The Graveyard is Surgical. As long as Yogg is in the modern meta, it's great. Yeah, Yogg was like really popping up with the Badger Bowl decks, and then it just kind of vanished. My favorite card in modern, Wrath the Skies. All right, we're moving on. I think I'm gonna keep largely on the back of Steelseeker getting triggered by Mox Opal here. We have a lot of good top decks, but gonna try it. So I'm gonna draw against the Wooded Foothills. What's the fixed glimpse of nature? It's a champions of the elves. I don't know. I don't know what they're champions of. But it's 4 mana 6/6. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Champion. I've been testing a little bit of elves with just 4 of those off stream. It's been pretty good. It's been pretty good. So, um, I'd like to get around to that at some point. Glimpse, you think is still broken? I mean, it never wasn't broken. You want to play it because you think it's broken. What are we talking about? It's Glimpse of Nature. It's like 1 mana draw 30, win the game. That's why you want to play it, because you want it to be 1 mana draw 30, win the game. One mana draw 30, your turn takes 12 minutes. We could just have a card that's more balanced than that, you know? We know what gameplay is like with Glimpse. Let's tweak it up a little bit. I guess I underestimate the impact of it. The thing is, it's not broken in the sense that it would ruin the modern format, but it would be. It's a very unbalanced card. In fact, it's kind of like, think about it in how K command plays in Eldrazi. It's like, well, Eldrazi as an archetype would kind of suck without K command, or it would be a lot worse. Like those draws where you don't have K command are just so pathetic compared to the draws where you do. And elves would be the same way. Your draws where you don't have glimpse are so pathetic compared to the draws where you do have it. And I tend to think that when a single card swings the range of your hand so much, it just is off. It's just bad. It's just why are we having? Why are we like this? Green players just wouldn't be storm players. The thing is, green players are storm players. All green decks in modern, with a few exceptions, are like convoluted combo decks. Let's just go to game 2. We're dead. Prowess matchup is tough. Kind of want to try the let's try the Damping Spheres. I never board them in. Let's try. Let's play the Vexing Bauble too. Been cutting the Took a bunch. Although I kind of want to, maybe I want to get all the Wraiths out of here if I can. They're just so painful. Fire Magic kind of stinks. Endurance kind of good against the Channelers. I guess we'll play one. Yeah, Champions of the Perfect. And Champions of the Perfect has been really good for me in testing so far. So, I don't know when we're gonna play Owls with 4 champions, but want to get to it. What does Steelseeker do for us? It draws like our whole deck. Here, hold on. I almost never do this, but is this game? Here's a little tutorial. This is turn 4. You get it. You get it. Mulligan. We 3-2 with Mono Black Moon Shadow. Felt fine. Do you think Rakdos has still been the best? Planning on playing that on Friday. I also liked the Quantum Corol deck from yesterday. Anything from Laura when Quips that made you want to dive back into Septuchant? I mean, of course not. Like think like Moon Shadow, Formidable Speaker, Goblins, Merfolk, Elves, Elementals. Like those are the cards from the set. None of those are Septuchant cards. Asmo will probably die. Do you think it's important to play the Rhythm anyways? Get a nice 2 for 1. Asmoranomardicadaistinaculdacar. Why is Champions so much better than Beast Whisper? Because of 6/6 body? Yeah, why is Quantum Riddler so much better than Elvish Visionary? You know? it's gigantic. It's big. It's a 6/6. And you know, I say this. I try to say this as often as I can when it comes up with cards like Champion, and Quantum Riddler, when it comes up in these set review videos. But like modern players are so used to all their creatures dying all the time that they genuinely think creature stats don't matter. Creature stats they do matter. 6/6s are really big. They dodge a lot of removal in the format. They're hard to deal with. They kill you really quick. It's a lot of power and toughness. So they main phase bolt after end of turning just surveil. Then they preordain. Yeah, I haven't made any changes to the Moonshadow build yet, but I plan on taking a look at the 75. Plan on taking a look before the challenge, of course. Extra Death Shadow, more of the trick creatures like Abigail, Bowmaster. Well, you'll have to tune in. I think I don't want to play more than 2 Abigail, and I've been happy with 4 Death Shadows. I also don't think Bowmaster is super well positioned. That was kind of something I was thinking today playing the mono black build. Is Bowmaster just it's kind of whatever. Expressive Iteration. Have you ever used Strict Proctor plus Lotus Field in any of my decks? I don't know if I actually have. We've talked a lot about it because we played a lot of Lotus Field. I usually think Consign just mostly replaces Proctor. Yeah, so you could have held the Manufacturer there, but I think because we're happy enough to just make a Saga token, I'd rather just use my mana effectively here. I want to Tar Fire more than Bowmaster when I did fire. I mean, we don't have either in the current build, for whatever that's worth. Sorry for the slow prowess gamer. No, it's kind of boring. We're gonna take a cool turn here, though. My opponent, I would imagine, doesn't have a lightning bolt or removal spell for the Manufactor if they're just going to let me untap with it. So we're going to tap here. Should likely find a land off of one of our 3 Steelseeker triggers. There's 1. There's 2. Keep that. I guess I would rather. Yeah, I think I would rather activate a cookbook again than make a construct. Maybe that's wrong, but if it's wrong, I don't know how interested in being right I am. They have Consign? No, they just learned to respect Steelseeker. Well, let's go to make sure we get our tokens here before they could kill the manufacturer in response. Hard to think that they would just have a heat there, but if I knew they had a heat, I would have made a construct. Oh, sideboard cards. Okay. Do I want to play the Omni Meek attack deck now? Kind of late into the day. Let's do it. Give me a second to get the deck together. But I think I'm done.